What's going on, everybody? We need your help. Addy and I have had an argument. We were on our way to this glorious studio and we were discussing managers, who ranks where, and I was talking, as you would expect, about Mikel Arteta, and I rank him a lot lower than Ade Oladipo does. Ade, an honour to have you on the channel as always.
Thank you, my man.
Thank you for joining us.
Appreciate
Make sure that you subscribe to Ade's channel. The link is in the description below. But we should get straight into this because what we're going to aim to do on this video is come up with a definitive list of the 20 managers.
Ooh, not easy.
Don't get me wrong, some of it is interchangeable. Some of it is completely interchangeable. How much better Hassan Hutel is to Bruno Lage, for example, or vice versa, doesn't inspire me. But what does inspire me is a conversation that we were having on the way here, where I said to you, ahead of the Crystal Palace versus Arsenal game, I said to you that Crystal Palace should never have a situation where, or the world of football should never have a situation where the Crystal Palace manager is a better manager than the Arsenal manager. You didn't like that?
No, I don't believe it as well. I like Patrick Vieira. I think he's done a good job. But look, the job he's done in taking over from Roy Hodgson's commendable. You know, in fact, more than commendable, incredible. When you think of all the players that had to leave Crystal Palace and Vieira came in and people were questioning what he's done and, you know, he's been a failure where he's been before. So I think he's done a really good job. I also think Arteta's done a really good job as well. And I think Arteta's had a lot to deal with. I think the Ozil situation was a difficult one. Big name player on big wages, dealt with it. Aubameyang, big name player, big wages, dealt with it. And slowly but surely, and maybe this is your problem because it's been more slowly than surely, he started to get the way he wants, the team he wants, and they're playing the way they want as well. And I think he's been good. I think the signings have been good. He speaks well. He's got great hair. You've got to give him credit for that.
I certainly do. I certainly
great
do.
hair.
Do you know what's interesting here? Where this conversation effectively stemmed from was my begrudging admiration of Arsenal in terms of an institution. And maybe the times have changed, but when I was young, growing up, Arsenal were a club that demanded excellence from the top to the bottom. Yeah. They were a club that were rich in tradition of success. They were a club that, and it doesn't matter whether you go back to Chapman, whether you go back to Charlie George, whether you go back to Tony Adams, or whether you talk about the modern day, it was always a club that had a principle and a pride and wanted to win silverware. That is the way I still see the club.
I'm happy you just said that. And there's a word you used there, which I thought was key, principle. And I like it. He's a no-mess manager. We've seen it now with better players that he's told to get, if you don't want to be here and toe the line, go. We'll struggle for a little while, but we're good in the long run. Guendouzi, attitude, get out. Don't want you in my club. Aubameyang, you think you can turn up late for training whenever you want? Get out. Sit on the bench forever. Not in my club. Ozil, attitude, get out. He's taken a couple of bullets, and now all of a sudden he's starting to come back, and I like that. That's principle. You just said it there.
I said another word. Excellence.
Steady. Can't give.
I said another word. Excellence. Is he an excellent manager? Is he the best manager? Okay. When we were discussing this on the tube, I was being flippant when I said Vieira's a better manager. I was being flippant. I haven't really given that enough due diligence. I probably don't think it. But I do think that Brighton have a better manager than Arsenal.
You think Graham Potter's better than Arteta?
Yeah, I do. I honestly do. Is that wild?
Sometimes I feel like Graham Potter gets the plaudits. And look, I like the football they play at Brighton. I do. I remember when he took over from Chris Hughton and everyone was raving about his football. And I think they finished one place above relegation. I was like, okay, you're playing good football, but you finished one place above relegation. And to be fair, he stuck to those principles and played better football. And they've climbed up the Premier League as well. But not for me. He's managing Brighton for a reason. You know, sometimes you get that.
Though, circumstance. Like, there was a time when Frank Lampard was managing Chelsea and you would say that he was never... Circumstance sometimes puts people in positions. Sometimes they deserve, sometimes they don't deserve. Okay, then, let's try and kick off our league table.
Yeah, let's do it properly. Go on.
Should we just do the obvious?
Should we do the obvious?
There are an obvious top three.
Oh, okay.
There are an obvious top three.
I like how you've done that. I thought you was going to do rank it 1, 2, 3.
No, we can do that.
Go on then.
We can do that, but there are an obvious top three that we should put.
Well, I
actually think maybe there's an obvious top 4.
That's what I was going to sort of lean towards as well. I think there's an obvious top 4.
There's an obvious top 4.
I think it's wrong to not have Tuchel in this.
Yeah.
Because I know your top 3 is obviously Klopp. And in no order here. Klopp, Guardiola, Conte. I can't leave out a European champion.
So
I can't.
4-3-2-1 goes Tuchel. We both agree Tuchel is the 4th best manager in the league. And I agree with that. Okay, so in our league table, Thomas Tuchel is 4th.
Yeah.
We then have Antonio Conte, who is 3rd. Close to the other two rather than close.
Very, very
rather
close.
Than close to Tuchel, though.
I'm, by the way, I'm not... obviously, look, I'm a Liverpool fan, and look, Pep will be number one. Pep will be number one. Just and people will think.
Are you saying Pep is number one? Because I wasn't sure where I was going, but your
I'm going to be in the minority here.
No, but your opinion here.
I'm going to be in the minority. People are going to say Pep's number one, and people are going to say, look at the trophy cabinet. And I would, I'd like to argue and say, but Liverpool has spent less, and look what he's done. He's taken average players to world class players, and I can make the argument for you.
That's a very strong argument.
It's a very strong argument, but people are always going to talk about the trophy cabinet.
Mate, if you look at Klopp turning footballers into the best in their position, it's crazy. Mate, it's crazy.
There's too many now.
Yeah, it's too many.
There's too many.
Like Alisson, best player in his position in the world. Trent Alexander-Arnold, Gareth Southgate disagrees with me, but in my opinion, best football player in his position in the world. Andy Robertson, at certain points, best player in the world. Van Dijk, fine. Salah, obviously.
Mane,
obviously.
Mate, and I'll be honest with you. I remember when we signed Jota, we were supposed to sign Timo Werner. Yeah. And he had a heart attack. I think I might have tweeted Liverpool, this is a disgrace. Yeah. How have we not got Timo Werner? Jota came and I was goals galore. He does it.
Do you know
people
what? I think you're right. I think it is Guardiola because you can't argue with the silverware.
And people will say, look at Barcelona. Yeah. Although he didn't win the Champions League at Bayern Munich, still look at what he won at Bayern Munich. Although Klopp won a couple of trophies off.
But there's nothing between them. There's nothing.
It's so close. It's 1A, 1B.
Yeah. It's 1A, 1B.
I'm going to, as Liverpool fans, say Klopp.
In fact.
And the reason I think we've got to put Conte in there, won the Premier League.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if we're talking about Premier League achievements, he's done that.
With a terrible team in his first season. Yeah. Like when you think about like Chelsea managers over the years, aside from Mourinho in that first season, Antonio Conte is the best manager we've ever had.
Ancelotti was pretty good.
Yeah, people will say Ancelotti won the double, but I would say that Ancelotti had the best team in the world that year. That year when Chelsea won the double,
strong.
It's the best team in the world.
Strong.
And we only won the league by a point. We had to win on the last day of the season at home to Wigan to win the league. It's the best team I've ever seen. So look, don't get me wrong, it was the best team I've ever seen, and Ancelotti was a manager of that team and played some glorious stuff. But I think Antonio Conte's contribution was he didn't have the best team in the league by a distance, and he took it to top. So I think that Conte's certainly top three here. Yeah. So let's just do it.
Go on, then. So look, go on. Majority will say Guardiola, and I'm not gonna.
Okay, Guardiola.
I think Guardiola.
I'm slightly reluctant here, but I'll do it.
Guardiola. I'm very reluctant.
Guardiola, Klopp, Conte, Tuchel. Who's next? Who is next? Who is the next best manager in the league? Who do you think it is? There are some to put on the table here. Do you know who I'm going to put on the table when people aren't going to like it?
I'm going to chuck. 3, 2, 1.
David Moyes.
yeah, we do think David Moyes.
I know.
David Moyes has got to be there.
It's an exceptional job.
Incredible.
It's an exceptional job.
What's going on?
If they do it again. So we had the first season and maybe that was an anomaly. We had the second one and maybe that was a little bit of luck and circumstance. If they do it again, 3, they're the establishment.
And the crazy thing about David Moyes, that even I have to give him more plaudits for, I thought he was done as a manager. He went to, was it Sunderland? Sunderland went to West Ham.
Spain, didn't he?
Yeah, is it West Ham as well?
Went to West Ham and they got rid of him. They got him back and they didn't want him back. All the West Ham fans were livid.
I actually remember, and West Ham fans can back me on this.
I know what you're going to say here. Don't say that word. Don't say that word.
But no, I remember when he was ill.
Yes, that's the word.
And he was, I think he was obviously managing it on Zoom. Yeah. And West Ham fans are like, yeah, good, let him stay on Zoom. They were that sort of.
Yeah, they weren't feeling him.
Not at all.
But now, look, I think he's been robbed, and I understand why. But I think he's been robbed of like manager of the year or something on either season.
And bear in mind as well, not been backed.
Mate, if they'd
not
spent
been backed,
money,
if they'd given him Lingard full time and a proper striker, they could. We could be talking about Europa League winners, West Ham playing Champions League football.
They would have been.
Yeah. And look, I'm lucky enough to have gone to the London Stadium. I only live 5 minutes away, so I've gone a few times. The noise it creates now, the loving they give to David Moyes.
Do they love him now?
Love him.
They should.
They absolutely love him. And I think, you know what? I think David Moyes, like I said, I think he could be the 5th best manager in the Premier League.
Well,
just on achievements.
The fact that we both thought it, yeah.
I'm gonna go Moyes.
So Moyes 5th. Now it gets very tricky. 6th. Is this when the Arteta chat starts?
I think it's only right. Although you've obviously mentioned Graham Potter, I think it's only right. You finished 5th last season. The signings have come in, have looked good. Arsenal now are playing a style of football that it's not by luck. This is obviously clearly what his intentions are. I think he's unearthed some good youngsters as well in the squad. So it's a good mixture as well. Players that he's brought in and youngsters that he's brought through as well.
When we discussed this before, Ad, and we were arguing, so it's a different conversation. We weren't trying to be polite on a usual. We were arguing. I said that Arteta was slapped up twice by Vieira.
Yeah, that's true.
The Lacazette draw.
Lucky. 91st minute.
Lucky. And the defining results towards the end of the season that had a direct bearing on Arsenal not making top four. So they're head-to-head last season. You know when I was saying that Vieira is a better manager, before we just give this to Arteta, was I onto something?
You was onto something, but you can't, and you know this, it's almost like Liverpool back in the day where their big result was going to Old Trafford and winning. It's the whole season, mate. Man United would look at us and think, oh, you took 3 points off us, we're going to take 90 for the rest of the season. It isn't just a game, it's the consistency. And I think this Arsenal side, apart from that little blip towards the end, and look, I know they were slapped up by Nottingham Forest in the FA Cup, and I get all that. Liverpool knocked them out of the League Cup. But I like what he's doing there. I really do. And look, a lot of pressure this season. But I like the big decisions he's made. He's made massive decisions at that club. To set Aubameyang down when you're looking for goals to get you. And that could be a wrong decision, by the way.
See, I would spin it the other way.
And say it's a wrong one.
I'd say it's a bad move, yeah.
It's a bad, maybe so.
So is Potter definitely not a better manager? Like, I'm asking the question. I
don't think Potter's better than Vieira.
Okay, so we're going Arteta. Arteta in
sixth behind Moyes.
Behind Moyes. So West Ham have a better manager.
Yeah, I think Moyes is doing it with a worse squad.
Yeah.
I think he's doing the squad. Less money. He's not spending
That's
the money.
not your opinion. That's
just fact. It's just fact, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm going that. Yeah,
okay. Which now brings us on to Potter Vieira. Okay, actually.
Some will say. Some will say Bruno Lage Rodgers. Yeah. Some will say Bruno Lage Rodgers. First time.
Bruno Lage, I will tolerate.
Wolves fell off a bit of a cliff last season, but there was a time when Wolves fans were thinking, one second, we got European football here. I love what Bruno Lage did last season. Defensively, they look good. They've got all these neat little players like Podence and Neves and Moutinho, Neto. Yeah, all these players, like where are they? Like all little rugrats running around that left foot, right foot.
Wicked
all
on
of
the
them,
ball.
wicked on the ball. All of them. Remember when they went to Old Trafford? I can't remember the score.
They beat them 1-0.
They did, didn't they?
They beat them. Neves scored a blinder.
It's just in out football.
I remember when they beat Arsenal 2-1. I think Pepe scored for Arsenal. Went 1-0 up. David Luiz did something stupid. And it was at Podence, I think. Just
Mate,
quick feet.
So
quick
good.
feet.
So
You know that
good.
ability where you just pass the ball from one foot to the other?
Incredible.
Amazing.
I mean, we relied on a 94th minute, I think, Divock Origi goal at Molineux to win.
Well, think about last day of the season.
Look at the pressure they're putting us on. What's going on? I was like,
Bruno Lage, a really good manager.
Bruno Lage
might have been done a little bit of a disservice here. Is he a better manager than Arteta? No. The problem is they haven't backed him, Bruno Lage.
They haven't backed him.
They've stopped the money. You know that Fosun money they had?
Mate, it's weird.
All
the gorgeous George Mendes signings have disappeared as well.
I think Lage actually belongs next. Before Potter, before Arteta. Before Potter, before Vieira. Bruno Lage is a really good manager, man.
I like him.
Shall I do it?
Do it.
Or do you want to see Vieira next? Is that
no, I'm not.
Okay, so we can rattle through this, right? So we go Lage, then we go Arteta. Then we go Vieira. Then we go Potter.
All right.
Potter's got to be here, man.
There's going to be a couple that I think people are going to be screaming at the TV now.
Go on. Not Rodgers.
No. Yes, and Ten Hag.
This is difficult. Ten Hag could potentially be after Tuchel. Right. He could potentially be.
He could be.
Like if we were judging him on his Ajax days, he's in the top tier.
Yeah.
But it's very difficult for us. You're right. We do need to put Ten Hag on this list. But
Ten Hag should almost be out of this list because we don't know because he's a new manager. It's difficult.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't think we.
So
do
we're
know.
doing this.
And
is
by
a
the
19
way, this Rodgers thing you're going on. I mean, look, 2 5th place finishes in the Premier League. I know what you're going to say. They should have been 4th. I know you already. An FA Cup win where they played really good against a really good Chelsea side. Really good Chelsea side. And I like the team he's assembled. I like that team. I like Fofana at the back. I like Harvey Barnes. I like Maddison. I like Iheanacho. I like Patson Daka. I like what he's doing. I mean, you're dismissing him like we should have him at 15th or 16th.
Okay.
Brendan Rodgers is done. Where did they finish last season? 8th, 9th?
Yeah, so we are down to. We've got 9 managers down. So if I put him in now, that puts him as 10.
They finished 8th.
If I'll put him at 10.
Who?
Rodgers. Well, look, that's where we're up to.
Okay.
That's where we're up to. We're up to 10. So Rodgers, I will concede, is very much a mid-table manager, because that's where I see him. I don't think he's an appalling manager. I just don't understand why he was ever linked with the Arsenal.
Because he came fifth twice.
But add the context. You know when you just said they should have been fourth?
Yeah.
They shouldn't. They should have been
third.
They had it in the back. Okay. Everyone had given it to
You know
them.
the problem is, when you overachieve like that, third for Leicester's overachievement. Well, you know this, I know this.
Yeah.
They're not the third best team in the Premier League. And then you lose a couple of places, it looks really, really
Expectation
bad.
changes. And that's part of being a good
Our
manager, by the way.
expectations, because he's a good manager, though.
But their expectations that he's been part of building, yes. I think that they fell off, but he's been part of building them. But being a top manager, he's rising to those expectations.
I think he's better than 10th. I'm going to leave you to have 10th, but I think he might. I think we're being a bit... I can't have Graham Potter above Brendan Rodgers.
Okay, look, do you know, I'm not precious about this. I think he's a mid-table manager.
I know what you mean.
I don't care if he's...
8th, 9th, 10th,
So I'm happy to do that. Do you want me to swap Rodgers and Potter around?
Yeah, I'm going to get stick for it, but I think you should. I think fifth in an FA Cup, I think that does in recent years.
Okay, so Rodgers is in 9th. In 10th goes Potter.
Yes.
Okay, so now, do you know what? Now it gets fairly interchangeable for me until we get to the bottom. Until we get to, like, deciding who's the worst manager.
You know, there's going to be some screaming, and this is difficult because it came from the Championship. Steve Cooper's a very good manager.
Very good.
Very,
but again,
very
it's
good
difficult.
Manager. It's very difficult. I agree.
Yeah, I mean, I think anybody.
Eddie Howe, what he did for Newcastle when he came in at Newcastle, motored up the table.
I would have had Eddie Howe above Rodgers. I would have had Eddie Howe above Vieira, maybe.
Maybe, yeah.
Maybe above Lage.
Maybe above.
We can do that, though. It's our list, man.
It's our list. We can do it. It's our channel.
We play what we want. We play how we want. We make the rules up as we go along. So where do you want? Where does he rank? Where does Eddie Howe rank?
Nah, I think...
He's above...
I think he's above Potter. I'm not having him above Rodgers. Yeah.
Okay,
have we gone a bit...
So that puts Potter 11th. Is Vieira getting a bit of her...
I think Vieira's getting a bit too much love.
Because Eddie Howe is a better manager than Vieira, isn't he?
Is he?
I mean, he wasn't last year.
Mate, the football...
Vieira was brilliant last year.
Mate, the football that Crystal Palace... I have to be honest with you. I tune in to watch all Liverpool games. I watch a bit of Chelsea. I don't really watch Crystal Palace games. Now I do. Also, I can't wait to see Palace versus Arsenal on Friday. I'm desperate to see it.
And they could do it.
They could do them.
And do you know the team that he's assembled there? It's exciting. Like, if I said... Name a young player that you're excited to see this season. You say 2 from Palace.
Eberechi. Give me right now.
And Elise.
Yeah, Elise. Gets the ball, starts going.
Yeah.
And why have they all got dreadlocks? It's almost like part of the deal. Yeah. You sign for me.
Good, though.
You're all great.
They look good. Like Ruud Gullit. It looks amazing. Like maybe they just love Gullit. Yeah, I would have him if I could. Amazing.
Oh, so would
I. Okay, so we're set on Vieira, Rodgers, Potter. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Vieira deserves to be...
Where does Eddie Howe slot? That's what we're trying to work.
Just below, just in front of Potter.
Okay, so Rodgers is just better than Howe. Yeah. That's fine.
Yeah.
Right, like it. Potter, therefore, is 11th. That's probably right. Now, where are we heading?
Now, this is where you get your Thomas Franks, your Vieira, your Gerrards, your Hasenhüttls.
Okay, let's do Gerrard. That's an interesting one. Is Gerrard better than Frank?
Lampard.
No, sorry, Thomas Frank.
Oh, because I was about to say bloody better than... Well, I don't know. Look at you. No. I don't think he is.
So is Thomas Frank next?
Yeah, I think... Look, no disrespect to Gerrard, but the money he's had to spend, and look what Brentford have done with what they have. And I know they struggled, but again, it's the foresight to bring in a player like Christian Eriksen when everyone wasn't looking at him, to give him a go. He's not spending any money. I like... There's something about Thomas Frank I actually like.
Yeah.
I think, by the way, they could get relegated this season. But I think he's a good man. Honestly, they could.
I think they could get relegated.
But I think they played good football in the Championship, and they've played decent football in the Premier League. And I think because of the budget they've got, I think he's above Gerrard.
Yeah. Are we going to leave out the likes of Cooper, Ten Hag? Should we leave them out of this? Or should we put them in? Maybe we should.
Well, it's difficult to, isn't it? Because again, Cooper done it in the Championship.
Yeah.
This is the Premier League.
Yeah.
Ten Hag, Eredivisie. This is the Premier League. We don't know.
Okay.
So there will be ones that we'll discuss when we do this video again 6 months later.
Yeah.
Or something.
So now it's probably Hasenhüttl, 13th.
Yeah.
Okay. So Hasenhüttl in 13th, which leads us on to 4th. We're getting to the business end of it now, because remember, we're leaving out...
We're getting to the ones that are crap.
We're going to leave out Ten Hag...
So we're leaving out all the Championship ones.
Ten Hag, Parker...
Steve Cooper and Marco Silva.
We're leaving them all out.
Yeah.
So that means that we're only playing down to 16th.
Yeah. So basically what we're trying to say right now...
And we're now at 13th.
Yeah.
So now this is the business end, man.
Yeah, this is where I can tell you who the worst is.
So Hasenhüttl is here. If you try it, I'm going to end the video. So don't even bother trying it. I know what you're doing, and I don't even do it.
Yeah.
Next is Frank Lampard.
Over who?
Kept Everton up.
So did Jesse Marsh. Kept Leeds up. Jesse Marsh kept Leeds up.
Jesse Marsh is...
Jesse Marsh, one second. Jesse Marsh came from a foreign land. yeah. To the Premier League. Didn't know anything about the Premier League. Obviously he did, but, you
sound like you're narrating, Joseph, in the Technicolor Dreamcoat.
Foreign land. But I'm going to go Jesse Marsh is better than Frank, just because Frank's got experience.
Because you want to wind me up?
No, but Frank's got experience in the Premier League. Jesse Marsh has come into this league.
Man, I think they were lucky to stay.
And
Everton earned their security.
So did Jesse Marsh. I think the first couple of games. Remember, then he win like 3 out of the first 5, and then he struggled, but won 3 out of the first 5.
Keeping Everton up is a huge achievement. They were dreadful last season.
Everton have got a better squad though than Leeds.
But they were in turmoil. The Rafael Benitez thing. They were in turmoil. They were a club in turmoil. They're one of the worst. Like in terms of being a poorly run club.
Jesse Marsh is basically taking over God. That's the way they look at Bielsa. The pressure on that.
That's a hard job.
He took over Benitez.
Just to get this right, we're now there's 3 managers left to argue about, and we've got 3 spaces. So whatever way we look at it, we're in the relegation zone. Gerrard, Lampard, Marsh. We're just doing an order
I've got Gerrard. If we're doing it just above. Okay. So I've got Gerrard, Marsh. I've got Lampard as the worst manager out of the lot.
No, mate.
He is. You know he is.
No.
It's difficult for me even to have Gerrard.
I'm going to have the graphic made up, and I'm not going to do it like that.
Lampard is the worst of the lot.
Do you know what I'm surprised about here?
Go on.
That Steve Gerrard is this low. I mean, I didn't do this on purpose, but if you were talking to me in a more sort of light-hearted way, rather than trying to work it out, I would have gone, Gerrard's doing a good job. I quite like the job he's doing. He looks like he's done a really good job at Rangers.
Mate,
bro, we've got him in a relegation zone here.
Towards the back end of last season, Aston Villa really struggled, and he was given a lot in the transfer window. Some good players coming in as well, and obviously his name attracts those good players. I like Steven Gerrard, but I don't know. There's a lot of pressure on Gerrard.
I can't believe it. So we're saying that the 3 worst managers in the league are Gerrard, Lampard, Marsh. I think that we've treated
but bear in mind,
Gerrard and Lampard really harshly.
No, but it could be Marco Silva, it could be Steve Cooper, it could be it could be those guys.
Yeah, it could be Ten Hag with a bit of luck.
It could be. You never know. It could be. So we're removing a few here, but
okay. But on the game that we're playing,
those are the 3 worst. Jesse Marsh, Frank Lampard.
Steve Gerrard is a better manager than Ralph Hasenhuttl.
Lost a lot of games, Steven Gerrard, last season when he came in. Lost a lot of games, and again, I look at that 11 they've got. Yeah. That 11, Ollie Watkins, Bailey, Danny Ings, Coutinho, who else have they got? Buendia, McGinn.
Good team, man.
Mate.
A good team.
Mate, Konsa, Mings, Martinez in goal, Luca Dine.
No, it's a good team.
It's a really good team.
And it's a massive club. It's a massive club with pedigree.
That 11 that I just named there, no disrespect to West Ham, better than West Ham's 11.
No, it is
better than West Ham. Yeah. And they've got more depth.
They're never finishing above West Ham, are they? They're never going to do that next season. But it's more to do with the brilliance of Moyes, though, than the Gerrard.
Maybe so, but I think Gerrard needs to...
I'm so surprised. So our final 3 goes Gerrard, Lampard, Marsh.
No. Our final 3 goes Gerrard,
No, that wasn't... Sorry, did I suggest that was a question? Because it wasn't. It really wasn't. It was a statement. Mate, I'm making a graphic.
It's officially...
No, he isn't.
The worst.
No, he isn't. Jesse Marsh is. No, he isn't. I'm going to end this video here. That's our table. Our table is up. Let me know, do you agree? They are... very harsh rankings of all of the managers that we're prepared to rank. Addy, it was fun to do this with you. Usually now I would ask you to subscribe to Ali Evo's channel, but don't. I don't mind whether you do that or not because he's upset me with his Lampard shout. I'm of course joking. His link's in the description below. Do us a favour, comment below. Let us know your thoughts. Do you agree with the way that we've done this? Do you agree with our table? If not, let us know why. Click subscribe and I will see you all very soon. We're out.